Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So Hytale has been out for a couple of weeks, and in this video I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I have found along the way. You may have noticed I'm in my Let's Play world. If you haven't checked out, then feel free to do so. There'll be a link on the screen right now. But anyways, let's get into it. So my first tip is going to be very essential for your very first playthrough on Hytale. If you have a lot of items cluttered in your inventory and your chests, always use these buttons up here. So you got the take all feature, you got the put all, and you also have the quick stack and sort items by type. We sort those, they will sort them for us. This is especially handy for when you have a chest with a lot of stuff like this and it's all cluttered everywhere, and you have some in your inventory also. So you can just do the quick stack, which will move these items into their corresponding slots in your chest, like so, and then you can easily just do sort by items to clear it all up. So next on the list, we have always loot your structures that you find. So as you can see, I have looted this one for its bookshelves. So these bookshelves you can't craft in the game at all at the moment as it stands. So always make sure to grab these. Also, these counters here you cannot craft, so always be sure to take those, and also these paintings here. And in general, it's just a very good place to grab loads of good furniture for your builds, such as these chandeliers, some metal bars, and some benches and stools, and maybe even a bed. So there are a few settings in the game that I like to tweak before I do anything. So for me, arachnophobia is on because I don't like spiders. So that is definitely on there. Also, preferred pickup location, I have set these from hotbar to inventory. So when you pick up armor, weapons, usable items, solid blocks, etc., instead of going straight to your hotbar first, they will go into your inventory. In general, I have upped my field of view up to 80. You can go higher if you want to. It's personal preference. There is also show damage numbers for when attacking mobs and entity health bars. I have both of these on. Again, personal preference. You can turn them off if you want to. So if you do turn in arachnophobia mod, it turns the spiders into crabs. So there's no more need to be scared when you need your venom sacks. And of course, if you have a phobia of snakes, turning this on will change your snake models to a worm. You can also change your keybinds. So there is a drop function just like Minecraft. So I have set that to Q. Again, like Minecraft, I have changed my mount and dismount from F to E along with my interact. You can choose your ability keybind. I think mine was Q. You can change it to R. And there's even a screenshot option here, so you can set that to a keybind. I have a keybind, so if I press C, it shows my character. I have changed it so also that they're like Minecraft as well. So if I press F5, it goes third person and back to first person. F2 takes a screenshot. Pressing F8 hides your HUD. F11 is full screen mode. And another little trick that I didn't know until recently, if you double tap F7, you get all your world settings, your rendering settings, system settings, and your FPS. So this is a good way to find what day you're on in your world, and also what time it is. So if you find yourself struggling for food in the early game, or you don't want to kill any animals, then you can take use of these nice little apple trees, and then you can simply just harvest them. So you also get some nice essence of life and some apples. And if you have multiple trees, you can just keep doing it, and you'll have a nice inventory full of apples in no time. Apples aren't the best food source, but for early game and starting off, it's definitely a good little starter just until you get some nice meats or some skewers. So in order to grow an apple tree, you need an apple sapling that you can get from the farmer's workbench. So if you upgrade it from tier 1 to tier 4, which is over here, I've just popped into creative just to make this a bit easier and quicker. So you upgrade it to tier 4, and there you go, you got an apple sapling, and all it requires is 4 apple and 1 greater essence of life. So if you do have a farm setup, all you need is 100 essences of life, and that will get you a greater one. So that should be fairly easy to get, and 4 apples is fairly easy to get also. So there you go, you got a nice early food source. So whilst we're on the farming topic, if you have a nice farm like this, and your crops certainly need watering all the time, my closest water supply is over here, just there. So instead of walking backwards and forwards, filling up the watering can, what you can do is just get a bucket, fill it with water, plonk it down in a 1 block. So you fill up your watering can out of this 1 block hole, and then you have unlimited water to keep watering your crops with. Perfect. So if you've crafted daggers and want to traverse your world with ease, the best way to do it is to... So if I wanted to jump this lake without having to swim all the way across it, like so, and it'd be very slow and laborious. So what you can do is if you use your daggers and you time your jump properly with your charge attack, you can boost yourself with a big jump. Like so. And if you want to traverse vertically, you can do the same thing. Like so. And another good way to traverse your worlds is if you try and run onto a horse and mount it, you have a great way of traversing your world. So be careful because these horses cannot be tamed, and if you do dismount, they will run away and even try to kick you. And another little tip for the horses, so if you are on one and go into water, you can swim with them. And if you hold down the sprint button, you can do it even faster. So if you are looking to get to the tier 4 zone, obviously there's no boats in the game at the moment, you can just get on a horse, traverse the ocean really quickly, like so. So when you start your first playthrough on Hytale, so one of the first objectives the game will want you to go and explore will be the Forgotten Temple. So here you will find this will be greyed out in your playthrough. with a little exclamation mark. So when you hover over it, it will tell you to find a gateway or a forgotten temple, and these are what they look like. Be warned, if you don't want to be spoiled of what's through here, just click away quickly. But if you make your way down the stairs, you'll find you'll have an enemy to confront, and once you get through the portal, you are in the Forgotten Temple. And once you're down here, you have a Klops merchant to trade with, and you have a rootling merchant to trade with. So if you're into making all different kinds of foods, then always make sure to bring Essence of Life, and you can trade for some dough and some helpful ingredients and food, and even recipes. And of course, meat pies and apple pies. But the main objective of this area is to collect memories. So once you're here, always make sure to interact with this, and then this will give you the option to record your memories, like so. So in order to record memories, you have to interact with this totem, get in the vicinity of any animal, and it will pick up the memory of it. And then you can find the animals you have collected in here, which can only hold up to 48, so always make sure to come back here and to record them. And as you can see at the bottom here, if you record 50 memories, 100 memories, or even 200, you get 2 maximum teleporters and much more stuff. So, similar to my first tip that I gave you, inventory is a bit of a pain in managing your items. So, another good way is to make your way to your workbench and then go up to the tinkering option up here. Here we have unlock backpack. So here it requires 8 medium leather and 8 iron ingots. So if you craft that, and then you just simply right click, it will give you your backpack here. Obviously it's saying I've already got one. If you click on that, there you go, you got more inventory space. And also if you wanted to upgrade it even further, you have an upgrade one here, which does take rare ingredients. So always keep that in mind. But a little tip for your backpack is I always like to keep some arrows, some food and some repair kits at all times, and then you have 6 spare slots to put in whatever you want. So bows in the game are very good, and they deal quite a lot of damage depending on which tier you have. So at the moment I have a thorium short bow, but if pulling the string back and firing one shot at a time is not your go-to, you can go to your blacksmith's anvil and craft the iron hand crossbow. So this will take 3 linen scraps, 4 light leather and 6 iron ingots. So if you do craft this, make sure you have a lot of arrows in your inventory because it does consume quite a lot of arrows. So if we give it a little whirl here, there we go. Fires very quick. Sorry fucks. But there you go, you can see that took, I think, 3 shots. So it's a very powerful and handy weapon to have. And let's even test that out on the bear. So 6 shots took it down to pretty much less than a quarter health. And there we go, nice. So if you find yourself coming across structures like this, or any camps, or any ruins or temples, then always be sure to break crates and barrels, because they will give you a lot of early game loot, such as wild berries, arrows, and most importantly, you can even drop light hide, which is very handy for early game stuff. So reach inside yourself and find your inner Zelda and break all the crates and barrels you can find. Oh yes. And my last tip for the video is obviously the portals. So portals are a very fast and handy way to traverse your world, rather than using mounts or simply using your dagger trick. So what you need to craft portals is an Arcanist bench, and then there you go, you've got a teleporter unlocked straight away. So you need some Azure logs, Azure cow, and any stone. Crafting it once gives you 2, so it gives you a base teleporter and a teleporter you can put somewhere else. So this is very handy if you wanted to put a base teleporter here and then you go traveling down to the desert. So then once you come up to here, you can set a name for it. So I'm going to just call this home. Just think of this as in a desert or something, this teleporter here that you've put down. Let's just call it desert/any biome that you want. And then click save on that one. So if you're feeling adventurous and you want to go into desert, then you can go up to your teleporter, choose the desert, or go to the forest biome, or go to any tiered biome really that you want. You click on that, click save changes, and it'll open. You go through, and then you arrive. It's that simple. I do hope you guys find these tips and tricks useful. If you did, feel free to leave a like. That'd be very much appreciated. And maybe even subscribe. Be sure to check out my Let's Play that I'm doing on Hytale, or even Minecraft. That'd be very much appreciated. And I will see you there. See you later, guys.